Hi, friends. We did it. I mean, I did it, but no more nights in the hospital. No more nights. It's a beautiful thing. I get to sleep at home in my own bed when it's dark, and just you never appreciate that until it's gone. The ability to sleep when it is dark outside. Oh man, is that going to be great? I'm going to sleep like you would not believe. Probably just the regular way, actually, just the regular same process I've always been doing, just more of it. Last night, I thought I was good. I thought I was like, "Oh, yeah, 6 nights were easy. I'll just add on 1 more. It's fine. I'm adjusted." Man, 7 nights is harder than 6. We never did it in residency, and I guess now I understand why. It's just we always did 6 and then a night off or even 5 and then 2 nights off, and, uh, something about that 7th night just dragging. I was fighting coronavirus and myself all night, just all the cotton in my brain trying to convince me to just pass out. It's not fun. Last night, some really sick people, some bad respiratory failure, which is what we've been seeing. Also, some really nasty renal failure, which was also COVID. Won't get into too much detail, but it's just amazing the various presentations we're seeing of COVID. There's horrible pneumonia and bad oxygen problems. There's I just haven't eaten in 10 days, and then people come in, hypovolemic, or I should, lacking salt and water and food, and their kidneys aren't happy because they haven't eaten and drank in 10 days. I'm sorry, I'm going to try to list all the presentations of COVID, but the point is that there are too many to list. Um, it's just crazy the fact that everyone in the hospital has this, which means that probably so many people in the community, if you just did random chest X-rays, you'd see infiltrates. Um, I have no idea what proportion of people that would be true in, and I don't want to conjecture, but it's just uncanny how everyone has COVID. One guy last night did not have COVID, but was also a victim of the COVID epidemic because he has alcohol use disorder. He drinks an unhealthy amount, and he was in with various side effects of that. And he has no meeting now because AA is effectively gone online, which is not always easy to do. They certainly are not having in-person meetings, and going online makes the whole anonymous thing a lot harder. Um, And then he also just has nothing to do to distract him. He's sitting in his apartment, and so he started drinking more. And so, as I said before, I think the knock-on effects of COVID will be the most interesting stuff. The things we see 3 and 4 months from now, when our heart failure patients haven't been seen and cared for, and our diabetics all have their A1Cs go up, and just things that should have been prevented show up. It's really challenging. I'm excited to get back to that part of my job, and I will get back to that part soon. Really missing Risa and Daria, my family. It's just hard to be away from people you love. I don't have to tell you that. A lot of you are away from people you love right now because of the quarantine, not seeing grandparents or other loved ones. Um, but it's today is day what 8 of now 19, and I just can't believe that after everything we've gone through, there's so much more to go through. Um, it's frustrating because, like, this job that I was called in to do is important and necessary, but so is the job I was already doing, like this reaching out to people and making sure they have their meds and making sure they're feeling okay and being on call for people as they need their doctors because they can't come in and see us. And so I will, after I finish my 2 weeks of inpatient service, I will go back to that job with absolutely no qualms. I may not be seeing COVID patients in person, but I'm absolutely still a part of the response to this epidemic. Uh, in general, I've always identified more with the mission of outpatient medicine. I say always. Since I decided to go into outpatient medicine, that has been the case. And so I'm excited to get back to it. That patient of mine who was admitted to another hospital died. His family texted me, which I knew he was going to. I mentioned he was very hypoxemic, had a very low oxygen level, and I recommended the family they try to keep him home instead of home hospice, and they just couldn't handle it. And so he went in and uh, and died there. I actually don't know if he died in the hospital or died at home. It's not the kind of thing you can ask. But it's just interesting because everyone who you ask says they would prefer to die at home than in the hospital, right? It's a very rare person who's like, no, 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 I want to die connected to 100,000 machines. That's what I want. But when confronted with the mess and the uncomfortableness and the uncertainty and the sheer visceral nature of dying at home, I was going to say viscerality, but definitely not sure that's a word. A lot of people just can't take it. Home hospice is a beautiful thing and allows people to stay at home in their dying days, but ultimately, when it comes right to it, that's tough for families. So I sympathize. As for me, I remain full code. I told my wife a long time ago, I'm full code until I say otherwise, or until I am neurologically devastated to the point where I can't read the front page of a newspaper and have a conversation about it with you. That's a good standard. I think everyone should know what level of function they are seeking to preserve. If it's everything, then great. I respect that. But for most people, there's some kind of life they wouldn't want. Man, this got morbid. Sorry, guys. Look, the point is, I made it through nights, and I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna wake up feeling better. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna take pride in my work, taking care of people. I'm gonna be thankful for everything that I have going for me. My beautiful family who will be coming back to me soon. The wonderful people I work with, and the privilege to take care of them. And I will bring my compassion to my patients, and always remember that everyone's trying to do their best in a very difficult time. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.